Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The much anticipated, long awaited Sportster S. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S, I should say. My first ride on it. I've been buzzing, been waiting to get a ride on this thing. Heard a lot of good things. Let's put it to the test, shall we? There we go. Oh, it's limited. Limited. Oh, wow. I did not know. Oh, that's not. Wow. Right, so hello everybody. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all well. I'm up and running in Watford again, test riding Harley-Davidsons. And I have, as said, I've been waiting so long to have a go on this Sportster S. Very, very, very highly praised, this bike, in all the reviews that I've watched and read. So I hope it matches up. Before I get into the my first impressions, because I've only literally been on the bike 5 minutes, let's talk about the bike a little, shall we? So what we have here is the all-new 2021 Harley-Davidson Sportster S with its all-new V-twin Revolution, I think it's Max engine. It's the same that they have put in the Harley-Davidson Pan America, the same 1250cc lump. This one, however, only produces 121 brake horsepower, so still no slouch by any stretch of the imagination, but compared to the 150 that the Pan America makes, it's interesting. It's interesting to know what twerks and what adjustments they've made to the engine to not produce the same amount of power, but they have to obviously make it adaptable for the type of bike. Its torque figures, it has 125 Newton meters of torque. Now that personally is insane for this sort of bike. That, you know, you're on super sport bike territory with that level of pull. I'm yet to give it a go because we are still in the built up area of Watford, but I trust me, I will be opening this up for sure. So the Sportster S, like many of the Harley-Davidson range, now has 3 modes. Now this is not unheard of, although some Harleys may have more or less. This has road, rain and sport. Currently we are in road mode. Nice of Red to give his street glide a bit of a thrust, just so I can go after him. And yeah, currently in road mode, and it feels nice. Feels really nice and smooth on the delivery. I'm actually hoping that changes in sport. I want it to be a bit more aggressive. Like I've now told you, with the Newton meters of torque that this bike has, I want to see that in action, and I know it's hiding in sport mode, as seen in previous videos. I will quickly throw in there that this review, I don't know if I would go off this completely. If you are watching this, obviously I thank you for watching, and I do want you to somewhat take my opinion in. Of course they are just opinions, but it's not 110% accurate, I would say, simply because I am very tall for this bike. I have noticed that in the first 10 minutes. These foot pegs, and it is definitely made, I would say, for a shorter gentleman. I'm going to go for that. It is definitely made for a shorter gentleman. That's no bad point on the bike. The bike is still very controllable and still very rideable. I can still get as low down as I might want to, but I feel very cramped, I have to admit. Yeah, I'm not as comfortable as I've been on other bikes. Unfortunately, sometimes height can be a curse as well as a blessing. I know some of you shorter folks may be like, oh, what's he complaining about? But on a bike like this, yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm definitely not as comfortable as I think I could be if I was a tad bit shorter. Okay, so we're just going to throw it in sport mode now and let Red have a bit of a gap. Oh wow! Wow! Okay, there's the torque. There is the torque. Because of my leg length and the size of my feet, I'm really not great with the gears on this. So it's hard for me to keep switching. Thankfully, I didn't really want to there anyway. It was quite happy to carry on pulling in third. We'll give it another go for sure. What are we in? Second. We're in second gear. Just going to let Red get a little bit ahead of me. All right. 30 miles an hour, second gear. Let's open her up. Oh wow! There's the power band. There we go. Yes. Wow. It's all torque. It is all torque. It's not like groundbreaking speed. It actually doesn't necessarily get up to high speeds. I don't know the top speed of the bike, so I'm sorry about that, but it gets there quick. I will say that it does get there quick. That is outrageous from a bike like this, from a Sportster. They're getting the most. They're definitely getting the most of it. I don't even think I changed gear. Oh, one more time, why not? There's that snap. There's what I'm after. That's what I'm after. Beautiful. Like I said, I might not be comfortable, but that is fun. As in a lot of my reviews, my advice is to throw it in sport mode straight away. No, of course not. Definitely ride it in road for most of the time. But if you're on a road, national speed limit, whatever, definitely get into that sport mode. That will get you up to speed in no time, and you'll have a lot of fun wiggling the rear. Thank goodness this bike has, of course, all the necessary add-ons you would expect: traction control, ABS, I believe some cornering assist, maybe, don't quote me on that one. You can add in a lot of extras. This LED, or sorry, not LED, TF, whatever it is, screen. This is fantastic. You can get your maps on here with your phone connected to the Bluetooth and on the Harley-Davidson app. But it's all additional extras. If you were purchasing the bike, you would have to talk to your Harley dealer about that stuff. But I do like that anyway. But as standard, I believe it comes with the traction control and the ABS and the cornering, as you would expect. All modern bikes are doing it nowadays anyway, which is lucky, because I'd have maybe lost it on that snap. Now, I watched a review, and just excuse me, I'm just gonna have a bit of fun. I watched a review where I won't name the channel, just in case they disagree with my point. Don't want to upset anyone now, do we? Where they said that they believed this handled like a bobber. Now, admittedly, for those of you who have watched my Triumph Bonneville bobber video, I was not comfortable on the Bonneville bobber either. However, I actually think to say that this rides like a bobber, I actually think that's a little harsh, to be honest with you. This is a lot more forgiving. It can chew up some bumps. There's a prime example. I felt it, don't get me wrong, I felt it, and there's the crack in the voice, etc. But I'm not in pain, whereas on the bobber I was in pain. Maybe it could be unrelated to the bike. Maybe I doubt it, but I could have a bit more junk in the trunk. No, junk in the trunk. Did I say junk in the trunk? I'm so confused. But yeah, it could be that. I doubt it though. So I'm going to put it down to the bike suspension. Obviously, being a Sportster, it will have a bit more than the bobber. But yeah, I just wanted to address that because I don't think it rides like a bobber at all. In terms of how it handles, yeah, we've been putting it around a few bends now. Not going as low down as what I think some of you who test ride this will be able to. It's going back to the comfort thing. I just don't feel too comfortable. My legs are in a very odd position, and I don't know, maybe I'm just making excuses. Wouldn't be unheard of. But yeah, I haven't been leaning this as much as what I would have liked to, but for what I have been doing, it has been very, very planted, very stable. You can throw this around. It's not too heavy. Obviously the weight disappears when it's moving, but yeah, even when it's not, all is good. I could definitely, I'm gonna say it's a bike really for everyone, and I don't mean that as like styling. I know some people aren't into this sort of stuff, but it is genuinely a bike that I think every biker could ride. There is no, I don't believe, maybe put in the comments if you think I'm wrong, and is there a reason someone couldn't ride this bike? I doubt it though. I really do doubt it. You might have noticed I've let Red get a bit in front of me. That's because I want to do this. There we go. Oh boy. Into fourth. Wow. Oh, I love the torque. I love the torque. Like I say, it actually doesn't go that fast, in my opinion. It's not a fast bike. There are different models for that. The Pan America was much quicker. It's just how it gets there is much more fun. Much more fun. Oh, there's one. There's one. I felt that one. I will give the blame to me though. That was deep and I should have seen that. However, if that was on the bobber, I'd be dead. I would have been flown into the trees. The bike would have just gone on its own, but not this one. This one's it's a lot better. It is a lot better. So what about what's going on the handlebars and the dash? Well, as I've already said, I really like this circular dash display, nice and smooth. For those of you who will go on to own the bike or test ride one or maybe rent one, whatever, and you might use it for a bit of a longer duration, you might also get the Bluetooth with it. You might attach the you might connect it, put the Harley-Davidson app on, get your maps on there. I'd love to see how that looks, because it's not too big, it's not too in your face. Maybe it could have actually done with being a little bigger, but that's maybe just me with my poor eyesight. Other than that, there is a lot going on. This is actually going to be a down point for me on this bike. Everything here is very crammed, and yeah, it's crammed and cramped, to be honest with you. There's a lot of buttons here. Hopefully my camera's picking it up and I'm pointing it in the right place. There's a lot there. Your indicators are down here, right next to the horn. That's really inconvenient. And same on this side, not as much, but yeah, this is obviously all your Bluetooth buttons and what have you. I'm not a fan of many buttons on the right hand side, simply because, you know, that's your throttle. It's hard to, you know, clickety click. Look, I'm moving my thumb and I'm accelerating, so I'm not used to it. My bike doesn't have any fancy gizmos on it that I would have to change my riding style or my acceleration hand pressure, whatever, for, but I'm not a fan. It just looks all too clunky for me. And there's a lot of wires as well. Can you see? Look, there's some down here, a lot here, one here. I know that all bikes have wires on show, and these are obviously just the brake hoses and what have you, but these here, down here, there's a lot. It's a long wire. Maybe they've allowed for play, but it's not neat. Maybe a cable tie or two. I'm just thinking where they'd have put it, but yeah, it definitely isn't the cleanest bike or cleanest looking cable assembly I've ever seen. It's never going to be perfect, because this type of bike doesn't have a fairing to hide everything, but it doesn't, and neither does it really have much of a front mudguard. It doesn't really have a lot in terms of that gizmo stuff. It's very, very stripped, but that is the look, that's the appeal. So prices, value for money, all that jazz. What do I think? Well, the bike is, I believe, on sale for $13,995, or I'll just say just shy of £14,000. Obviously a wider range of finance options available, as is the way of the modern world. I actually think for that price, I mean, I'm old-fashioned, I think that sort of money for a motorcycle is outrageous, but in the modern world I won't judge it against my bias, I will judge it against today's economy and inflation, etc. I think for what it is, the power, the engine, the style, the gizmos, everything, the value for money, I think it's good. I think it's really good. There's obviously better out there, but there's a lot worse. There is a lot worse on the market. You could do a lot worse, so not bad at all. Not bad at all, really. I think a lot of blokes maybe who are getting back into motorcycling, this would probably be a good option if you obviously didn't want to start on a smaller cc size or a smaller power. Red loves that Sport Glide. Obviously for years I hated this negative, horrible view that the Sportster S is a girl's bike. It's ridiculous, it's wrong, it's such a backwards way of thought, and there's no such thing for a start. And to be honest, this is a kick-ass bike. Lots of torque, lots of power, nice on the bends, respectable, eye-catching. Trust me, this is a bike for everyone. I honestly mean that. Well, not everyone, because as I've said, it's not for me. I'm going to go for that because I believe I've got the torque, and I have. It is a bike for everyone, except for maybe us over 6 foot. It's not for us at all. No, I won't say that, it's not fair. As always in these first impressions, these test rides, my advice is always to go and test it. Get to your local Harley dealership, go and ask if they have a Sportster S demo, and get out on the bike yourself, because only then will you truly appreciate and understand the bike and your points, or my points. And who doesn't love riding bikes? That's what we're all here for. So go on, and if you do or you don't, I'd love for you to put in your comment in the comment section what you think of the new Sportster S. I've struggled to find neutral, but there it is. Huzzah! So we're back in congested and clunky Watford, and we're just going to wrap this all up. So I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Watford Harley-Davidson. All year they've been so accommodating to me and Red. They've pretty much let us out on every bike of their 2021 range, and it really means a lot. It honestly does. The guys there are super cool, super awesome. So if you're local, or hell, even if you're not, just go down to Watford Harley-Davidson, get some test rides sorting out, buy a bike, buy some merch, whatever. They honestly deserve it. They really do. And just a final comment to add, guys, I have joined Instagram, so I would love it if you guys who are on it could pop over and drop me a follow. It's just TheRhythmicBiker, so nice and easy. Type that into Instagram, find me, drop me a follow. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm going to be posting on there all the stuff me and Red get up to, myself when I'm not riding with him. Not very often, but hey ho, that was an interesting manoeuvre. And yeah, just bringing all the good stuff more often, I suppose, more regular than a YouTube channel. But it'd be nice anyway, just to see what you guys are getting up to. Maybe have some chats, maybe message, etc. That would just be lovely, wouldn't it? And so, guys, one final blip. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would really appreciate it. The more the merrier here. We're all friendly, we're all welcoming. And yeah, This has been the Harley-Davidson Sportster S. Take care, and until the next time, cheers. What was that? That was so cheesy.